Hello Internet Allies, how are you doing? So it's coming up to about 2 years since I handed in my notice to my last place of employment, which was working at a cinema, to pursue a full-time career in freelance videography as a self-employed person. And today what I wanted to do was kind of share with you guys some of the stories I have from working at the cinema. You know, some of the things I learned, and yeah, just some of the things I kind of remember, to be honest. I worked at the cinema as a cinema host for 6 or 7 months back in 2018, so from late March to around about October. It was kind of retail work slash ushering. So I mainly did ushering, but I did a bit of retail, which I absolutely hated, I'm not gonna lie, and I think there's no secret and everything. But I think it's okay to talk about these kind of things because I'm not really in contact with anybody I used to work with at the cinema anymore. However, even though I'm not in contact with the people I used to work with at the cinema, I do wish them well if they're watching, and I don't really know whether or not they would watch. But when I started working, it was like the Easter holidays of 2018, and the popular movie at the time was Peter Rabbit, and my god, that was probably the busiest I remember the screens being, actually, because it was just such a mess. Easter holidays, kids movie, kids want to eat sweets, kids want to eat popcorn, kids just make a mess, basically. It was definitely being thrown into the deep end a lot. However, I am grateful for working at that cinema and the experience that it gave me, because I feel like I have learned a few things from working at the cinema. First of all is a newfound empathy for people who work in customer service, whether that's retail, whether that's working as a waiter or waitress, whether that's working in a call center, you know, any kind of customer service job, because those jobs are not easy. They can be very stressful, and I think a lot of people don't realize how stressful they can be. I think if more people did work those kind of jobs or had experience working in those kind of jobs, then it would mean that less people would be, I think people would be more empathetic and understanding and wouldn't be quite as quick to judge. The other thing working at the cinema has taught me is what I can and can't cope with in a working environment. You know, there's a question every job interview is you know, what are you looking to get out of this job and whatnot. So I think at the time I said fulfillment, but I think now I would definitely look for kind of more specific stuff. So one thing I did find very stressful working at the cinema was that the rota changed every week. So I know a lot of places do have rotas and whatnot, but I suppose with me being autistic and liking routine, I think it's very hard when, you know, you get different shifts every week. So one week I could have been working Saturday evening, Tuesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, etc. And then the next week I could have been working Monday morning, Tuesday evening, Thursday afternoon, etc. It's really hard to plan things when you're only given your rota a few days in advance. So I didn't really like that part of the job. So I would look for more sort of structure in a way, and look more for maybe you know, maybe a closer team dynamic, I think, really. I was kind of known as the YouTube guy at work when I was working at the cinema. Everybody seemed to know that I made YouTube videos, and some of them found my YouTube channel and watched some of my videos and whatnot, which I guess was kind of nice. I mean, I only mentioned it to one person, and then word got out to you know, everybody that I make YouTube videos. But you know, I suppose that kind of makes me kind of interesting. To be honest, I'm kind of glad I left when I did, because I was finding that it was a lot harder for me to balance working at the cinema and developing my videography business. You know, when I would need to take time off to work on videography shoots and whatnot, and to basically, yeah, like I say, develop my videography business, work on my business plan, and have business mentor meetings and stuff. So I thought actually, you know, it's best, you know, it's causing me too much stress, you know, balancing these things. So, you know, I do definitely need to focus more on doing the videography stuff, you know, and I don't want to let like clients down because then it's like my own reputation on the line and stuff. Also, I'm kind of glad I left when I did as well, because that particular cinema, for some peculiar reason, it's open on Christmas Day. And like hell, I'm going to work on Christmas Day. Christmas Day is strictly family time, okay? It's kind of weird because I don't think like other cinemas are particularly open on Christmas Day. But I think like basically the CEO of the cinema company are like, oh well, yeah, well, basically people like watching family movies at Christmas and stuff. But yeah, but that's like on the TV at home. I wouldn't think to go to the cinema on Christmas Day. A couple of weird things about the cinema I worked at. There was a small amusement arcade in the corner of the cinema lobby where we worked. And the frustrating thing is that like they were quite old arcade machines and they wouldn't work half the time. So basically we get like a lot of customers complaining to us about basically the, you know, arcade machines not working. They put the money in and whatnot. And I felt really, really bad saying that like we couldn't help them because for some reason they were saying that we didn't own the arcade machines, which was a bit weird and stuff like that. I didn't really understand that, really, to be honest. I didn't really understand that whole like system thing, but that's basically what we were told to say to the customers. And I always felt really, really bad because, you know, I would want to really help them and stuff like that, because I'd be annoyed if like I'd kind of just spent like a quid, like, you know, trying to, you know, play a racing game or air hockey or like on one of the claw machines and, you know, just wouldn't work or whatever. And I don't really know why the arcade was there. When I go to the cinema, I'm going to watch a movie, not to really go on amusement. Another thing which I found out about, you know, towards the end of my time working at the cinema was that there were like mice kind of like running around the screens. Like sometimes, you know, if I was like working like a late shift, you know, sometimes you would like see like mice crawling along, and sometimes customers would spot them as well, and it was really awkward. It made me feel, you know, and it did make me jump a little bit, to be honest, because they're just so quick. It doesn't really reflect well, so I'm kind of glad I left, to be honest. I suppose one of the main perks of working at the cinema, to be fair, is that you do get to see, you know, films for free. I ended up seeing a lot of movies that year. Movies that I probably wouldn't have seen normally, and, you know, it kind of makes me realise that, you know, it is perfectly okay to kind of go to the cinema on your own. It kind of made me feel a lot more confident about going to the cinema on my own. You know, you have like, you know, your good customers, your fine customers, your polite customers. You've got like some of the rude ones as well, some of the ones that aren't very nice to you. It was kind of nice that like I did actually end up like seeing some people I know whilst I was working in the cinema, and most of those people were actually from my old jobs as a support worker. Even one of the managers said that, like, you know, I was great at like talking to customers and was very friendly and cheerful. I think I basically gave off that like demeanour, which was kind of nice. So one of my favourite, I don't necessarily think he was like a customer, but somebody came in to the cinema one time. Like, I think he was taking like photos of posters and standees. He was working for Universal at the time. I think he was probably one of my favourite people that came into the shop because, like, you know, he had a cool job basically, and because it was kind of a quiet day at the cinema, like basically we were just talking for like 2 hours basically on my shift and whatnot. And yeah, he was probably one of my favourite customers, to be honest. Well, it wasn't really, like I say, he wasn't really a customer, he was just there to take photos. But yeah, it was so much fun talking to that guy. He was so interesting. Sometimes what you gotta do with customers when you're working at the cinema is you've gotta like kind of give them like feedback cards. It's kind of like giving out business cards. Like, you know, I never really knew how to really kind of do that. I always felt really awkward doing that, but like for this guy I kind of felt like I could, you know, because I was talking to him for 2 hours. Yeah, he was a nice chap. He was a nice chap. He was probably one of my favourites. Another customer that stood out, probably for the wrong reasons, I'm not gonna lie. I just remember this one girl coming into the cinema with her boyfriend, and she started asking me questions about basically blowjobs. It was so awkward. Like, basically she asked me like, oh yeah, if a girl offered you a blowjob, would you accept it or not? And I just didn't know what to say. Like, and her boyfriend just looked. This was in front of her boyfriend, and it just looked like the ground wanted to swallow him up. He looked so embarrassed. Like, you know, this woman kind of talking about basically their private bedroom activities. It was just like, I felt so bad for that guy. It was just so awkward, so inappropriate as well. You do get some strange people, but I think that was probably the strangest person I had to serve. Anyway, thanks very much guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please share any weird work stories with you. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please share any awkward work stories you have in the comments below. Share me some of your favourite work memories, share me some of your least favourites. I don't mind. I hope you're having a wonderful day either way. And until next time, keep smiling. Bye bye.